block or pillow or blanket or whatever little support you have. Come all the way onto your backs. And then slide it right underneath your sacrum. So that point where your spine and your tailbone kind of meet your hips. See how that feels. If you like it, keep it. If you don't like it, then leave it. There's no need to stay there. But when you feel ready, start to extend your legs out and then hands by your side. Maybe wiggle the shoulder blades underneath you. And just try to let yourself sort of soften and open up into this shape as much as possible. Especially if you spent a good amount of today sort of sitting and locked up in one position. This is a really nice release for the hip flexors after being contracted for so long. Maybe send some breath right down into the front of your hip flexors. And then with each breath out, see if you can let go of some of the tightness that comes from them being contracted all day long. Letting your breath move all the way down to your belly. Nice full deep inhales. And then complete exhales. And from here, we're just going to start to take the right knee in and draw it in towards the chest. So the left leg will stay extended. We'll try to reach to that left heel. And then right knee to chest and maybe a little bit to the right. So you got 5 breaths here. So a little more opening for that left hip flexor. Take one more big breath in, maybe a little bit of a squeeze. And then as you exhale, go ahead and release that right leg out. Left knee in when you're ready. Extend through the right heel. Feel that stretch through the front of your hip. Breathe into that as you draw your left knee in a little closer. Two more full breaths. And as you finish your exhale, go ahead and release your left leg. We'll plant your foot on the mat. And then bend your right knee in to meet it. If you have that block underneath you, you'll lift it up, or lift your hips up enough that you can slide that block out. Bring your spine all the way back down. Pause there for a moment. And then if you have a block or a pillow or something, just place it in between your legs and hug it in. So inner thighs start to engage. If you don't have anything, no big deal. Just sort of envision you're sort of hugging the inner thighs into the midline, getting them to activate slightly. Walk your heels in a little closer so heels come right underneath your knees, hands down by your sides. Press the backs of your shoulders down into the mat and then squeeze the block. Inhale, lift your hips all the way up, bridge pose. And then exhale, one vertebrae at a time, lower the spine back down. Right back into it. Inhale, peel the spine back up. Exhale, lower. And we'll just do 3 more of those. Nice and easy. You don't have to go super high. We're just starting to warm up the spine, the hips, the glutes. And last one. And as you bring your spine back down, go ahead. Take that block, set it off to the side. We'll probably not need to use it again. bring your feet a little wider, and then just sort of windshield wiper side to side to side, releasing any compression you feel in your low back, sacrum. And then knees into chest, little rock side to side here, even circles with the knees. Good, and then we'll start to rock forwards and backwards along the spine. Start a little bit smaller. Find a little bit of pressure between the vertebrae. And then start to make that bigger and bigger until you come all the way over to hands and knees. Wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Inhale, pull the chest through the arms, lift the gaze. And then exhale, belly to spine, around the back. Again, inhale, cow. Exhale, cow. Try that again, but turn your fingertips out slightly. So wrists start to face towards each other. Inhale. Exhale, press the hands into the mat as you round. One more like that. And exhale. Alright, and then flip the fingertips back to face towards you. Bring your hands a little bit wider to keep space for the chest. And then again, inhale, roll her forward. Exhale, press fingers into the mat as you round. And one more time, inhale. And exhale. Alright, flip your hands back to neutral, and then we're just going to take really big circles. We're just trying to wake up the joints here, working into the wrists, and now hips, shoulders, knees. Especially as the weather gets colder, joints start to get a little bit crankier, so they need extra time to warm up. Take a few circles going the other way. Good, and then come back to neutral or center, and then just kind of roll through your shoulders. So move around in the shoulder socket a few times, one direction, and then a few times going the other way. Just trying to really circle through that joint. Loosen it up. Alright, and then walk your hands forward just about a handprint, so wrists slightly in front of the shoulders, tuck your toes, and send your hips up and back down, warrior facing dog. Do whatever you need to do here. You can find stillness, you can pedal up the feet. It's about 5 breaths to explore. Find out what your body's feeling like tonight and start to breathe and move in ways that start to open it up and just help you feel good. Alright, and then on your next inhale, draw lower belly to spine so core engages as we ripple all the way forward into plank. Keep that belly to spine engagement. Press hands into the mat to lift the torso away. It's a good time to see if your fingertips are facing forward, so index fingers are parallel to each other. And then press into that space between index finger and thumb. So kind of turn the hand on and take some weight out of the wrists. Get another inhale here. And then as you exhale, pull the hips up and back. Let's try that again more fluidly. Inhale, ripple all the way forward to plank. And then exhale, down dog. One more time, inhale, forward to plank. This time as you exhale, drop your knees, send your hips back towards your heels. We'll slide the belly all the way through into cobra. So shoulders roll back, pelvis drops, heart lifts. This first one, we'll just send the hips back to the heels, child's pose. Walk your fingertips over to the left, hips to the right. Deep breath in, fill up right side of your belly. Exhale, sink into that. One more breath there. Back through center. And then fingertips to the right, hips to the left. Big full inhale, get longer. Exhale, melt some of that tension out. One more. Alright, come back to all fours, plant your hands. And then tuck your toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward into plank. Spin your heels to the left, sweep the right hand all the way overhead. Fingertips reach forward, and then back to plank. Heels to the right, sweep that left arm all the way overhead, reach it forward, and then back to plank. Knees down, send your hips back. And then slide the chest forward. So hands have to be wide enough that you can pull yourself all the way through, and then roll the shoulders back. Feel shoulder blades plug into the back body. And then hips to heels, child's pose one more time. Hold it here, just kind of give yourself a little wiggle side to side. Stretch out the hips and the low back. And then next inhale back to all fours. Exhale down dog. We'll add on to that one more time. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Heels to the left, take the right arm all the way overhead. Inhale. Exhale back to plank, heels to the right. Sweep the left arm up, breathe in. Back to plank, now heels to the left, and then bend your knees and kind of press your chest back towards your thighs. So belly stays joining, find a nice side stretch through the right side. And then back to plank, heels to the right, bend your knees, press yourself back. All right, back forward to plank, this time knees down, and then chest and chin between your hands. So it's Ashtanga Asana, we pull the belly through, press the pelvis down, roll the shoulders back in now. And then tuck your toes, make your way to downward facing dog. Let's try that one more time. Inhale, shift to plank. Heels to the left, sweep the right arm overhead. Back to plank. And then inhale, heels to the right, sweep left arm up. Back to plank. And then bend your knees, sink the hips back to the left. Inhale, forward. Exhale, bend your knees, hips to the right. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, ripple all the way forward, cobra, squeeze the shoulders back. And then exhale, downward dog. 3 full breaths here, just sink into the shape. Bend your knees, inhale, look forward. And then step or walk your feet up to your hands, nice and easy. Keep your feet hip distance apart, so a little more stability in your fold. And then hang heavy. Try holding on to opposite elbows if that feels okay for you. And then start swaying forward and backwards. Just checking out how that changes where you feel the stretch in your hamstrings, your lower back. And start to sway side to side. See if you can keep the head really heavy. The shoulders relaxed. And you can keep this motion going side to side, or you can take it in a big circle. So we'll go to the left, come all the way up, around, back down, and then to the right. Come up, all the way around, and back down. All right, release your hands. We'll come up to a halfway lift, pull the low belly in, lengthen forward. And then release. This time rise all the way up to stand as you inhale, reach your arms overhead. And hands together, draw them right to heart center. Press down through the feet, inhale, reach the arms up, get tall. And then exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold, breathe out. Just one more of those. Inhale, reach up to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center, reset. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, we fold. Halfway lift, finally. And then as you exhale, plant your hands, step your left foot all the way back. And then on your inhale, just pull the chest forward, sink that left hip down. And then exhale, step it back down, dog. Inhale, take your left leg up to the sky. And then exhale, step your left foot in between your hands. Same thing, come onto the fingertips, draw the chest forward, sink the right hip. And then this time as you exhale, we'll step it all the way into a fold. Halfway lift. And fold. Rise all the way up to stand, breathe Hands to heart center. We'll inhale, reach the arms back up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, step your right foot back. Same thing, we'll draw the chest forward, lift the heart. Then bring your back knee down and exhale, straighten your front leg. Peel the left toes away from you. Take another inhale to draw the spine longer and dig the left hip back. And then option to stay here or walk your fingertips over to the left. So we keep drawing that left hip back in space, but a little more space through right side body. Now 3 more breaths wherever you are. And then we'll crawl it back into a lunge. Plant your hands, step it back, down dog when you're ready. And then inhale, take your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Same thing, inhale, we draw the chest forward. Drop your back knee, and then straighten your front leg. Dig your right heel back, pull the right hip crease back. Inhale, lengthen. Stay here for the exhale, or walk the fingertips over. Really pull your toes back, especially that pinky toe. See if you can draw it back towards you as you continue to lengthen the chest. One more breath here. And rebend into the right knee. Tuck your back toes, inhale, step it forward, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise to stand, breathe in. Hands to heart center. Option to bring your feet a little bit closer or just keep them hip distance if you like the stability. We're going to bend the knees, sweep the hands to the mat, and then arms come up and keep the hips low, chair pose. Exhale, sit a little bit lower. And then press into the feet, inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, sweep the arms back, chair pose, sit lower. Keep the hips as they are, inhale, take the arms up. And then forward fold, exhale. Hands to shins, lengthen. Plant your hands, we're going to step both feet back to plank, option to take any vinyasa you want. You can keep the modifications. You can go all the way down plank to chaturanga, cobra, up dog. And then we'll all meet in downward dog when we're ready. From downward dog, inhale, reach your right leg to the sky. As you exhale, pull your knee to your nose, shift your shoulders over your wrists. And then inhale, keep your right leg up and back. Exhale, take your right knee to your left elbow. One more inhale, take the right leg up. And then exhale, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Just walk that foot up if you need to. The left hand's going to stay underneath your shoulder. We're going to take the right hand up to the sky. Nice, easy, open arm twist. So you can lift that back leg up a little more. And then flip your palm to face away from you. And drop your hand to your lower back. Option here to kind of drop left ear to left shoulder. And really breathe some space into the right side of your neck, right shoulder. Keep lifting that back leg up. Alright, bring your head back to center. We'll inhale the right hand all the way up to the sky. And then right hand comes down to the inside of your right foot. Finger back, heel down. Alright, line up your right heel to the arch of your left foot. Send the hips to the midline, so we're just going to kind of scoop the booty underneath. And then left hand to the sky. So we're in an extended side angle. If this is too much depth this early in the practice, feel free to come up a little bit more. And then same thing we did with the other arm, we're going to flip that top palm away and take it to the low back. If you can find the top of the right hip, feel free to kind of grab into that, nestle that right left shoulder back. And then again, maybe you kind of explore some space. Left side of the neck, left shoulder. Press through that outer edge of your left foot. Just 2 more breaths here. Pin the hands to the mat, step it back to plank or downward dog, and then vinyasa if you'd like. And we'll try that again on the left. So when you're ready, inhale, take your left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, knee comes across. Inhale, send it back. Use that low belly, pull the knee in, and then step your foot to the outside of your hand. Alright, line up that right hand underneath your right shoulder, and then left fingertips to the sky. And so use the legs to support you a lot here. Press into the left foot, and then lift the back leg up. Flip the left palm away, we'll take the left hand to the lower back once more. Really roll that left shoulder back, and then maybe right ear to right shoulder. And feel free to explore that, but keep it really gentle. Some nice slow movements, nothing too jerky for the neck. And then release that left hand back up to the sky. Left hand to the inside of the left foot, spin your back heel down, try to create that front heel to back arch alignment. And then instead of kind of letting your hips stick out into space, think about hugging them into the midline of the mat. It's going to create the space for you to roll that right shoulder up and the right fingertips to the sky. Again, feel free to modify if you want to bring that left elbow to your left thigh. And then right hand to your lower back. Keep hugging the hips into the midline. About 3 more full breaths here. Alright, inhale that right hand up. Exhale, both hands down, step back through your vinyasa or downward dog. And once you're back in your downward dog, inhale, take your right leg up. Step your right foot between your hands. This time we'll spin the back heel down and come up to warrior one. So hip bones face forward, shoulders face forward. We press into the outer edge of that back foot to send the hips forward a little bit more. And then hug low belly in so we lift the spine. Wrap your pinkies in slightly. Find some more length through the sides of your waist and your arms. Take another breath in here. And then as you exhale, sweep your hands back, squeeze shoulder blades together onto the back body, hug the pinkies in. Press into your right foot to draw the right hip back and the left hip forward. Stay here if you'd like, interlace the hands together at your lower back and then reach knuckles away from you. Stay here if you'd like, start to come a little deeper, letting the torso drop to the inside of the right leg and then the crown of the head can hang towards the mat. If at any point this gets to be too much, you're welcome to release your hands and use them to help balance you by bringing them to the mat. Otherwise, just try to breathe into where you are. Only be here a little bit longer. Melt in where you can. All right, one more breath. Press through your feet. We'll all inhale, rise up. Warrior one. And then exhale, hands to the mat. Feel free to rinse that out with a vinyasa. And then inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step left foot between your hands, back heel down for warrior one. Rise up when you're ready. And then a couple breaths to just settle into this shape. So send the hips forward, press through the back heel. And think about going tall through the sides of the waist. Fingertips reach up. Settle into your breath here. exhale, sweep the hands back, hug belly to spine as you reach crown of the head forward. Feel the engagement on the back body without the help of your hands. Decide if you want to stay here or add that strength. Other pinky on top this time, reach your knuckles away from you. You'll feel the shoulder blades engage onto the back body even more. And you're squeezing that pencil in between them. And then stay here, start to drop it all the way down. Humble warrior. If you find humble warrior, see if you can just let your head go. Press down through both feet a little bit more to stabilize you. And then breathe deep. Let that support you here. Last 3. 2. And on 1, inhale, we rise back up. Crest or warrior 1. Hands to the mat, exhale, step it back, rinse it out your way. From downward dog, inhale, reach your right leg up. Step your right foot in between your hands. We're coming back to warrior 1 as you inhale. And then right as you exhale, sweep the hands back. Option to interlace them or just keep them reaching back. Okay. And then instead of coming all the way down to humble warrior, this time we're going to shift the weight into the right leg. And see if we can start to lift that back leg up. So engage in the left glute, and then you're going to have to kind of rotate that hip in space so the hip bone actually kind of points down to the mat. Lift up through the heel a little more. Tiny micro bend in your right knee. Reach the crown of the head forward. Press that heel back. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, land your left foot next to the right. Release the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms up, chair pose. Exhale, sweep the hands back. Rise to stand, inhale, palms touch. Exhale, fold right down the middle. Again, bend your knees, sit low, reach up, chair pose. And then we'll shift the weight into the left leg and take the right knee up. Right? Cross the right ankle over the right thigh and let the hands come to heart center. Take an inhale here, lift the chest up to the thumbs. And then as you exhale, send the hips back, reach the chest forward. Alright, whatever you want to do here, if you just want to stay here, focus on your balance. Stay where you are. If you want to start to work towards a deeper fold, feel free to bring your hands down to the mat. Or whatever is available to you. Breathe into the right hip. See if you can hug your left hip into the midline a little more wherever you are. Slowly start to bring your hands back up if you're in a fold. And then if possible, without dropping that right leg, we're going to pull the right knee into the chest, reach the arms up. Inhale. And then as you exhale, pendulum swing. Kick that right heel back, sweep the hands back by the sides. We find warrior 3 on the left leg. And then a little micro bend in your left leg, step the right foot way back. Land the feet. Send the hips forward, reach the arms up, big breath in. Hands to the mat, step it back, take the Vinyasa if you want. Remember, these are always yours to add in or skip as you need to make your practice yours. And then from downward dog, inhale, reach your left foot up. Step left foot between your hands, inhale, rise up, warrior 1. And then right away, sweep your hands back. If you want to add the interlace your hands together. Reach your knuckles away from you. And then as we shift the weight into the left leg, we're going to kick that right heel up. And reach the crown of the head forward. Good. Spin the back hip down. So the thigh bone kind of points to the mat. Lift that back heel a little higher. You'll feel your right glute engage. And then just see how well you can breathe here. When the breath gets choppy, the pose is getting a little more wobbly. So smooth out the breath. Even if you fall. All right, go ahead, land the right foot next to the left. Sink the hips lower, inhale, reach the arms up. And then lower even still, sweep the hands back. Rise to stand, breathe in. Palms touch, exhale, fold down the center. All right, sink the hips low, bend the knees, reach up, chair pose. And then this time we'll pick up the left leg. So left heel crosses over the right thigh, hands to heart center. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, hip hinge back. Take this wherever you want to go. And stay in the standing balance. You can come towards a fold. Now 3 more full breaths to explore. Press into the right foot, inhale, rise up to stand. See if you could pick that left knee up into your chest. And then kick that left leg back in space. Sweep the hands back, feel shoulder blades engage on the back body. Pull lower belly up towards the spine. And start to bend the right knee, step the left foot way back behind you. Once you've landed the feet, big inhale, sweep the arms up, lift. And then hands to the mat, step back, rinse it out your way. Alright, let's inhale, reach the right leg up. We'll step it between the hands and find warrior 2. So spin the back heel down, find that heel to back arch alignment. And then arms come up and around. Bend into the front knee, let the hips get heavy here. And go ahead and interlace your hands to your lower back again, just like we did in our warrior 1. Now reach your knuckles down, lift the chest, broaden across the collarbones. And then we're going to take the knuckles around towards your top hip. So see if you can kind of nestle them into that right hip. Okay, keep the left arm where it is. Release the right arm forward. Reach forward, bend that front knee deeper. Keep the bend and then reach the right arm back. Roll the left shoulder back, hug low belly in and reach the tailbone down. Big breath in. And then exhale, tip it forward, extended side angle. So you're welcome to keep the half bind here. If you want to slide in deeper, we can go for a full bind, wrapping the right hand underneath your right thigh. And maybe clasping the fingers together. If that feels like too much, you're welcome to release that bind as well. And just find regular extended side angle or sweep the arm overhead. If you're in the bind, we got about 5 more breaths. And then from here, we're just going to press into the right foot and start to straighten the front leg. So if you want to stay in the bind, you can. Down triangle is a little bit deeper, so if it gets to be too much, just break it open. Take the right hand down, take the left hand up. If you want to stay in the half bind, feel free as well. And then press the hips forward into the midline. See if you can lean your torso back just a little. Find that space across the left side of your waist. If you're in the bind, go ahead, release it. Take the left hand to the sky and then inhale the left hand all the way overhead. Exhale, both hands come to the mat, either side of the right foot. Step back plank, vinyasa, down dog, whatever you want to do. And then inhale, take the left leg up. Step your left foot between your hands and come up to warrior 2 when you're ready. Hug the hips into the midline, feel that little pelvic tuck. Bend that front knee deeply. And then release hands to your lower back. Take the opposite inner leg so the other pinky comes on top. Reach the knuckles down. Feel the collarbones lift and the shoulder blades drop together. And then start to wrap the knuckles around to the top hip. So we're just sort of settling into that half bind. When it feels pretty secure, take that left hand forward, reach. And then up and back for reverse warrior. Hug the lower belly in so we're not spilling through the rib cage. Take a big inhale. And then exhale, extended side angle. And whatever you want to do here, half bind, full bind, overhead reach, make it yours. If you're in the bind, see if you can keep that right shoulder wrapping back, waddling through the side body. Hips still hugging into the midline. Alright, we're going to come to triangle from here. So if you want to try to stay in the bind, we're just going to press into the left foot, straighten the front leg, just leaving a micro bend in the knee, and then roll that top shoulder back even more, or break it open and find a regular triangle. Alright, release the bind if you have it. And then big inhale, sweep that right arm all the way overhead. Exhale, step it back for your vinyasa if you'd like. All the way to downward dog. Alright, from downward dog, bring your feet a little wider. And then start to walk your hands all the way back to your feet. And we'll sink all the way to a malasana. So it might help to bring your toes slightly out. If you can't come all the way down into a seat, don't worry about it. Feel free to sit on a block or just stay a little bit elevated. Even practicing getting into this shape is going to help you open up your hips and your lower back. So just do what you can. Be gentle with yourself. We're going to go for one more bind. So if you'd like, sweep the left hand out to the left and the right fingertips up to the sky. If this feels like plenty for you, you're welcome to stay here. If you would like more, flip your right hand away from you and take it to your lower back. Okay? Finding that right shoulder opening, stay here, or swim that left hand around your knee and interlace your hands together. Alright, stay here, or if you want the final challenge, we're going to try to shift the weight into the right foot. Hug that left leg in towards you, and see if you can come all the way up into sort of awkward bird of paradise. Press into the right leg, reach through the crown of the head. And then with as much control as you can muster, start to bring that leg back down. Unwind your bind. Let's go into a little forward fold just to break in between. So go ahead, straighten your legs. Shimmy the hips side to side, sway the torso, roll the shoulders, whatever you need to do to kind of let that go, release. I like to include challenging postures in my class, not to be able to do them so much as to just explore new things. It's kind of fun to get out of what's comfortable, I think. And challenge yourself. It really gets you into your body. So try to approach it with that mindset. Let it be fun even if you fall out of it. We'll take the right hand in front of the right leg. Reach the left hand up to the sky. And again, if you're not into the balancing postures for today, you can just hang out here, or left hand to your lower back. Go for the bind, the half bind, whatever you would like. And then if you want to try that little arm balance again, we'll try to shift the weight into the left leg. See if you can hug your right leg in towards you and come up to stand. And then when you're ready, we'll start to, as gracefully as possible, make our way out of that. Out of the bind. Hands down. Straighten the legs. Shimmy the hips side to side. Let that go. However you did, gonna try it, and that's all it does. Okay. Let's walk the hands back to the top of the mat. Find plank. Bring your feet a little closer together. Spin the heels to the left. Press into the hands. Send the hips back. So bend in the knees. Try to keep the hips a little bit low if you can. And then really press into the hands and melt chest back towards thighs. Take a big breath in. And out. And then inhale back to plank, really strong. Heels to the right. Sink the hips back. Just finding a little stretch through side body. One breath here. And then inhale back to plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. So we've done a lot of sort of like locust shoulder opening. We'll just do a couple more here. So bring the hands back by your sides. And then option to keep the hands open, as we've been doing, or interlace them. Okay? Start to squeeze shoulder blades together, lift the chest up, and then reach the fingertips back, or interlace hands and reach the knuckles back. And if one feels more comfortable with you, try the other one, alright? Make it a little bit different, just to keep the mind engaged. And then start to lift the legs up. Wherever you are, we're gonna hug the shoulder blades into the midline, and then tuck the chin and see if you could reach the crown of the head forward even more. Hold here for 3. A little higher for 2. Last big inhale. And then release, turn your head to one side, let that go. All right, one more. So feel free to pick the arms by the side, the hands interlaced. Or if you want to try one more shape, we'll go pulse the arms. So elbows out from the shoulders and fingertips out from the elbows. And then same idea, start to squeeze shoulder blades together to lift the chest. And start to squeeze the legs together, lift the thighs. Tuck your chin, lengthen through the crown of the head. And then hug your belly away from the mat so you can press the pelvis down. Hold here for 3. 2. Last breath in. And release, turn your head to the other side. All right, walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Actually, come to like a sphinx pose, so all the way onto your elbows. We've done a lot of front of the chest opening. We're going to stretch the back of the shoulders. So I want you to just cross your right hand over your left, and then walk your fingertips in opposite directions. So you'll end up with the elbows kind of stacked in front of you. We're going to try to just melt over that shape. If you don't feel that much, tuck your toes, and then just kind of scooch your body forward so you have more weight over the arms. Likewise, if this feels too intense, scoot your hips back. When you feel like you're in a place that's doable, just see if you can relax your head right over the center of your arms. Take about 5 breaths here. And slowly start to lift your head back up. We're going to walk the elbows apart, just enough that we can switch the cross of the arms. All right. And then once the elbows are the opposite way, walk the fingertips back out and settle right back over the center. And as you try to soften into this shape, just scan through your body, look for any of the places where you're still holding tension that you don't need. Lower back, glutes. I tend to want to do some of the work here, but you can just let them relax. Relax your jaw. more breath. And then start to separate the elbows once more. We're going to press back to child's pose or even like an extended puppy pose. So if you want a more active stretch, keep the hips elevated, walk your hands forward, and then melt your chest to the mat. If you'd rather just sink all the way back to child's pose, feel free to do that as well. And then we'll just take 5 full breaths. Okay, go ahead and start to make your way back to all fours. And then downward dog when you're ready. Downward dog, take your right leg to the sky. And then right knee behind your right wrist for half pigeon. So the closer you keep your heel in towards your hip, the less intensity you'll feel for the outer hip. More intensity, bring your foot further towards the top of your mat. And then tuck your back toes, scoot your knee back. So you feel pretty steady and squared through the pelvis. And then when you feel steady and squared, maybe start to walk over that right leg. Come to your elbows. If you still have your pillow or block from the very beginning of class, feel free to settle it under that right hip if you need a little more support. If this feels like way too much in your body tonight, feel free to come onto your right hip for more of a deer pose, or even onto your back in that figure 4 shape again. And wherever you are, maybe allow your eyes to close. Draw your awareness inward. Just allow yourself to be in this shape with your breath. Take one more breath here. And start to walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Make your way back to downward dog with control. Unless you're on your back, in which case, just stay on your back. Take a moment to pedal it out. Do whatever you need to do to release that right hip. And then when you're ready, we'll send the left leg up. And take the left knee forward for half pigeon or half deer, or whatever you want to do to open up that left hip. Root down through the pelvis, square the hips and the shoulders forward. And then melt down to whatever degree feels right for you tonight. And you closing your eyes, you're just drawing your awareness inward once more. Letting yourself just be with whatever wants to come up here. Thoughts and stimuli and things happening around us are never going to stop. where you just sort of step back and find that space and peace to just sort of let things play out as they need to. Take a little breather. Last 3 breaths here. And then start to draw yourself back up, back to downward dog when you're ready. Take a moment to pedal out the feet, whatever you need to do to release. And then we'll make our way onto our backs. Take your time, no rush getting there. And then once you're on your back, we'll do what we did at the very beginning of class. So extend the left leg out and hug your right knee into your chest. Maybe a little rock side to side, just feel all that space you created in your hip socket and your hip flexor. And then keeping that knee drawn in towards your chest, we'll take the left hand to the outside of the leg and draw it all the way across into a twist. And then like 3 to 5 really big full breaths here, filling up and then rinsing it all out. Finish your next exhale completely. And then make your way back to center. Switch sides, right leg goes out, left knee draws in. Take a moment just to hug that knee in. And then draw your knee in a little closer. And take it all the way across into the twist. Bring your left hand out to the left, big full breath in. Exhale, ring it out. About 3 more like that. See if you can let yourself get heavier with each breath out. You sink further and further into the support of your mat. Complete your last exhale here. And then back to center. Draw both knees into your chest, wrap them in towards you, arms around your shins, nice big squeeze. And then to whatever final resting pose you want to take for your class tonight. So if that's Shavasana, start to extend the legs out, hands by your sides. If you prefer seated meditation or any other sort of yin posture, set yourself up in whatever sounds good. But try to be in a place where you feel as supported, as comfortable as possible. And then just give yourself the gift of not doing here. Turn your awareness inward. Let your thoughts just sort of become background noise. Watch your breath, watch your heartbeat. Watch whatever is going to keep you present right here. Slowly start to move fingers and toes. Bringing your awareness back into the room. Take a moment to take any stretches or movements that feel good to you here. And then when you're ready, make your way up to a seat. Once you've found your seat, take a moment to ground down through your sits bones. Drop your shoulders down away from your ears and lift up through the very crown of your head. Feeling the space you created in your body, and hopefully in your mind as well. See if you can carry some of that space and peace with you as you go through the rest of your week. Let's bring hands together in front of the heart. And then thumbs to the third eye space center of the forehead. We lift our hearts and bow to ourselves and each other. Namaste.